This isn't a conspiracy theory anymore. It just became policy. No ID, no job. It's that simple now. The UK government just made your freedom conditional. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, let me play this video for you.
And that is why today I am announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work.
Okay, I mean, there's so much to unpack just in the first statement, but it made me laugh the way he said it will be free of charge. It's like saying, hey, we're going to put you in prison free of charge. You don't need to pay. We're just going to put you in prison for free. I mean, it's ludicrous to even suggest that, you know, you would charge for something that people don't want in the first place. He must be one of the worst salespeople in the world. And yes, this is absolutely true, that if you do not get a digital ID, you will not be able to work in the British economy. Now, I've got so much to unpack as we go through this video, not least to mention what I think will be the biggest risks with this. And it's quite funny how people said to me, oh, you know, they used to say this was a conspiracy, and I was spreading a conspiracy theory about, you know, this digital ID coming, and how I said this was a global movement that came down from the World Economic Forum. And even yesterday, someone said, oh, you know, you're just exaggerating this. This isn't a global thing. Look at the image here. It actually says Global Progress Action behind him. It was the Global Progress Action Conference. So people, I mean, I don't get it at all, how they can even say this isn't a global agenda. It says it on the background right behind him.
By the end of this Parliament, let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID.
Unbelievable.
It's as simple as that.
No, it's not as simple as that. You think no one voted for this, no one wants it. You've probably got 10 to 20% of the population that will approve of this, if that.
Because decent, pragmatic, fair-minded people, they want us to tackle the issues that they see around them.
See, and he's using very manipulative language there as well. Decent people, pragmatic people. So he's basically saying if you don't get behind this, you're not a decent person. That is what he's saying in this language.
And of course, the truth is, we won't solve our problems if we don't also take on the root causes. For too many years, it's been too easy for people to come here, slip into the shadow economy, and remain here illegally.
Yeah, but what are the root causes? This doesn't solve it. What? So he's saying that by everybody, you know, being punished by having to get a digital ID, that this is going to solve the root cause. No, the root cause is allowing too many people into the country. There isn't enough space. You go into any major town or city now, and you'll see it is just packed full of people, and there's too much crime, graffiti everywhere, everything's filthy, all the services are overrun. There's too many people who are here, and they are actually claiming from the system. So within economics, you get a push and a pull. So a lot of the people that are coming in are pulling on the budget. So you've got all these people hard working, going out there, actually working, paying their taxes, paying very high levels of taxes actually, and they're the ones being punished, while you have other groups that come in and get given everything. So that isn't free money. It comes from somewhere, and the government doesn't make money. So where does it come from? It comes from the people.
For too many years, it's been too easy for people to come here, slip into the shadow economy, and remain here illegally.
Look, we could go on and on and on with this, with playing his speech here, but the key point is this isn't going to make any difference, because 2 points. The people who are here illegally and working, they are getting either cash under the table, so that's point one. They're being paid cash anyway, so how is a digital ID going to solve that? It won't. They'll still be paid in cash. It's ridiculous. And point number two is that they share a national insurance number, or someone, this is going to be the same thing, it's not going to change, someone goes and registers with their national insurance number, or their digital ID as it were, with their picture, and now they've got, you know, this digital ID. They're just going to give that account, or whatever it is, deliveries or whatever, they'll just give that account to another person, which is what they do currently. So we've already got a system that works. The problem is that people get paid cash and they share their identity documents around. This is not going to solve that. So this is all nonsense.
Our immigration system does need to be fair if we want to maintain that binding contract that our politics is built on. Otherwise, it undermines trust, undermines people's faith that we're on their side.
What? What? Is that a joke? I mean, he is the ultimate man that cannot read the room. Seriously. Again, it's this same principle of saying the opposite of what is true, like we talked about in the video the other day here. So they say the opposite of what is true as if that is true. And it's disturbing to me that a lot of people can't see it. And when you look at the correlations between the mental health problems going on in not just here, but in the West in general, and you compare that to how people will actually, we've got a clip here. Let me just show you.
Just out of interest, and so this story is only broken. There's lots we don't know about the plan that the government is proposing. But can I have a show of hands? Who is in favour here of ID cards? Well, not the majority, I think it's fair to say.
So what was that, 10 to 20% raise their hands there? That was it. So yeah, as she said, not the majority for sure. So here is the World Economic Forum. You can see I'm on their website, and this is digital identity and all the different things that it links to and all of their plans for this. Now, I'll just go on to another, again, we're on the same website, this is just another section. So this is the long-term plan of the digital identity for all nations. So this will be linked to healthcare, your financial services, to open, it says it here in black and white, to open bank accounts and carry out online financial transactions. You will need a digital identity. Food sustainability, travel and mobility, to book trips, to go through border control between countries or regions, humanitarian, e-commerce, to shop, to conduct any business transactions and secure payments. Social platforms, if you want to use social platforms, you will need a digital ID. E-government, for citizens wanting to use government services. Telecommunications, so this is for your phone usage, you will need a digital ID. Smart cities as well. And this is not a conspiracy theory like, you know, people would say it was a few years ago now. This is becoming reality. Now, real quick here, do you remember a little while back I sort of let you know about a opportunity that was coming your way with the silver price? And I talked about a silver squeeze coming. Well, I just wanted to show you real quick that that is exactly what we have now seen. Same with gold. The gold and silver price, the gold's gone up 41% this year. Silver's done 36% just in the last 6 months. And that is why I created for you the gold and silver mastery bundle, so that you can not only take advantage of what is happening right now with these massive exploding prices, but you can also use this or use these precious metals to secure some of your money, your savings, your pension. So you really have two opportunities here, is to both protect yourself and gain from these short squeezes that are taking place. The link below is in the description. We are ending this very shortly because the full course has now been recorded. So the pre-filming offer is going to end any day now, which is 91% off the entire bundle. So you can grab that from the pinned comment below or the description. And I'm glad actually that on the morning show here, they did get ripped into. So listen to this.
UK citizens will have to have one. Well, the plan is that we're going to roll this out by the end of
No, my question is, what if I don't? What if I've got my job, so I don't need to show this to anyone. So what if I just don't do it?
So if you don't have one, then you'll have a problem if you want to get a new job.
No.
Wow, that sounds like a threat to me. I mean, who do these people think they are? Who do they think they are? Threatening people's livelihood, that you can't work, you can't earn money, you can't put food on your family's table if you don't do this dystopian measure. It's disgraceful.
I'm not doing this. I'm not seeking a job. So why should I get the digital ID card? Why do I do it? Is there some fine for not doing it? Is there an incentive to do it? I'm just thinking I've got no reason to do it.
Yeah, but what we are going to do is make sure that everybody's got one. In the same way, Charlie, as you've got a national insurance number.
Which does the job already. And this is my point. But she's saying we're going to make sure that everybody gets one. She's not saying everybody that is going to work gets one. She's saying we're going to make sure that everybody gets one. And I want to go on to I want to break this down in a minute. We'll just finish this last clip. And then I want to break all of this down with some of the concerns I've got.
If you're a citizen of this country, we'll make sure that everybody has a digital ID.
So help me with this. I know we're plotting through this, but so everyone watching who's got a job has got a national insurance number. So when these digital ID cards exist, if I just go to my employer and show them my national insurance number, is that not sufficient? Are they being precluded from employing me?
It won't be sufficient. I just want to be really clear about that.
So they can't employ people unless they've seen one of these
a digital ID.
Cards.
Yes, that's right. That is the plan.
Wow. Just absolutely wow. So they are going to stop people from working. And it's no wonder then, let me show you this, that 1.7 million people have signed and it's going up in real time here. This is how many people have signed the petition already in a day or two? Now, remember, they're supposed to actually debate this when they get these 100,000 signatures. Now, I really don't think they're going to debate this. I don't. You saw what happened with other measures in the past that people didn't approve of, didn't want. The government just pushed it through anyway. And this is the problem we have now, is that they do just push this stuff through whether we want it or not. And I thought this was quite funny as well. So this is Keir Starmer's X profile. He said, I know you're worried about the level of illegal migration into this country. Digital ID is another measure to make it tougher to work illegally here, making our borders more secure. No, you're not making the borders more secure at all. People are still going to be coming in. Gangs are still going to be coming in. People with criminal records are still going to be coming in. He says, ours is a fairer Britain built on change, not division. Well, that's exactly what you are doing. Now, I thought this was funny because he got a community note on this. So readers added context they thought people might want to know. It's already a requirement to have a work visa for most people to work in the UK. Illegal migrants do not have a work visa, yet the problem exists that they work illegally, cash in hand, etc. Digital ID does nothing to stop illegal working, which this post suggests it would. And if that wasn't enough, he also got another one. So he was checked again and also got another community note. I mean, that's funny. The Prime Minister of a country getting community notes here. Now, I want to talk about a lot of the potential abuses that I see or risks with this digital ID. So the first one is most obvious one, and that is whether you think the government is great, which I don't. I don't believe this is a good government, the current Labour government, but whether you think they're the worst in the world, either way, it isn't about what we have in place now as a government. It's what comes later. So, once they implement these things, they never take them away. So what happens if we get a really dystopian government in the future and you have all of these measures that we just talked about? Well, that's where centralized surveillance and tracking would come in. One of the biggest concerns I have, but also it's the expansion of this, as we alluded to. That's, as per that graph, there's health, welfare, policing, social credit scores, requirement to use it for banking, renting things, buying things, accessing services, even for renting an apartment or renting a house, telecoms, retail, future linking to biometrics or additional data. This could be DNA, facial recognition in public spaces. What about a future government might use the system for political targeting, surveillance of their opposition, or to just restrict any protests against them. What about people may be restricted access to services, data breaches, exploits of your personal data? Actually, another point on this is that a lot of people have said protest against this and just don't do it, right? Well, that would work in theory, but what I think will happen here is that the companies will be forced, so they won't necessarily fine individuals, but they will fine companies. And if the fine is, let's just say it's £25,000 per employee per company, and you've got, well, in fact, let's say it's £50,000 and you've got 10 employees, that would wipe out some of the smaller companies. So they will have to enforce it or fire people. So it's not really a case of us saying, like, I'm not going to get one. It's a case of they will do what they've done before and they force it upon the corporations who then enforce it onto their employees. See, they don't need to enforce it onto the masses. They only need to target you where it will hurt the most, and that's your wallet. But I think the biggest one is the threat, really, and that's you won't be able to travel, you won't be able to open a bank account, you won't be able to access your benefits if you don't adopt this. And you think back to 2006, this was called the Identity Cards Act 2006. This was repealed in 2010, largely by civil liberty groups who objected under privacy. That's what they said. They said it just breached everyone's privacy. So overall, this is a terrible, terrible policy in my personal opinion, but please drop a comment below as to what you think. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Take care. God bless. And I'll see you on the next one.